Welcome to the Croatian Voice, the news program from Toronto, Canada. This is your host, Željko Todorić. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This week, Croatian Catholics in Greater Toronto area have witnessed a rare event. It was a celebration of a humble man who came from our small Croatian community, a community with a big heart. Here is the story.
This week, Croatian Catholic communities in Greater Toronto area have witnessed a rare event. Ante Market, a Toronto native, who was born to Croatian parents, was ordained as a priest on Friday, May 27, 2011, at Cathedral of St. Peter in Chains in Peterborough, Ontario. 2 days later, on Sunday, May 29, Ante Market celebrated his Mass of Thanksgiving in Father Kamber Park in Streetsville. This is the most popular Croatian park in Greater Toronto area, owned by the Croatian Parish in Toronto. Surrounded by his fellow Croatians, colleagues and friends, Father Market was given an honor which was reserved for very special people indeed. Hazel Michaelian, a legendary mayor of Mississauga, a city in Greater Toronto area, was there to honor both Father Market and Croatian Canadians. She is probably the longest-serving mayor in the history of mankind. Now, at the age of 90, Hazel Michaelian has been mayor of Mississauga for 32 years.
Fathers, I can assure you, with that many priests here, the sun had to shine. I'm sure you all prayed for it this morning. Mr. Ambassador, Mr. Consul General, and my Mississauga Croatians, Dobra Drasha. So good to be with you at this beautiful service in this beautiful park. It has been here for so many years, providing excellent recreation and a lot of enjoyment to a lot of Croatian people, not just those who live in Mississauga, from around the Greater Toronto area. And I want to welcome you to Mississauga this morning. It's so good to see the park back into action. I know that Father Jurin, who I worked with for years here and who made a major contribution to this park. I'm sure he's saying, I know he's back in Croatia, but I'm sure he's thinking of the wonderful day that we're going to enjoy today. Now, Father Market, I want to welcome you to Mississauga. I don't know where you've come from. In fact, they were supposed to give me a rundown of your history in English. Because even though I have a lot of Croatians in Mississauga, I haven't learned to speak Croatian. But I have visited Croatia many times. It's a great country. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the contribution you've made to Canada. I'm always impressed with your commitment to your faith. I think you set an example for others. And today, as we face the challenges that we all face, not only in our daily lives, but in our community, and the challenges that people are facing throughout the world, our faith is going to be very, very essential. And this morning, I hope that all of you that have come here to enjoy this beautiful Mass. Now, I'm not a Roman Catholic, I'm an Anglican, so I feel I've fulfilled my Anglican service today by being with you for the Mass. I think of the hard work that the Croatians have contributed to this country, to this province, and to this great city of Mississauga. You're hard workers. You appreciate the opportunities that Canada has given to you. You've come here with very little assistance. Many of you have been here for so many years. I look around the group. And you've made your contribution. You took advantage of the opportunities that were provided for you. and you gave back to your new country in so many ways. So I'm so proud of the contribution and the involvement that I've had with the Croatians. I want you to know, fathers, that on my 80th birthday, the Croatians gave me a beautiful gold medallion. On one side was the beautiful cathedral in Zagreb, and on the other was the City Hall of Mississauga. I value that contribution very much because I have been in that cathedral a couple of times, and it is such a beautiful. And then I think of the churches that the Croatians have established in the Greater Toronto area. Ladies and gentlemen and young people, our faith will help us through difficult times, both personal, community-wise, and country-wise. So this morning, Father Market, I welcome you. By the way, I do drop by the priest's house the odd time and have lunch with the priest, and more than one most of the time. I look forward to that. I want you to know that you've come in to a community that is very special. Very, very special. And that beautiful church up there on the hill is very special to the people of Mississauga. And I know, Father Market, that you will continue to give the spiritual guidance to the Croatians that enter the door of the church, and that will spread out into the community, and Mississauga will be better off for the contribution you make. Welcome, and have a great day.
Veselko Grubasic, new Croatian ambassador to Canada, whose diplomatic mandate started over a month ago, gave a speech as well.
Your Worship, Mayor of Mississauga, Mrs. McCallion, Reverend Fathers and Nuns, Consul General Matesic, my dear Croatian friends, ladies and gentlemen, and last but not least, Reverend Ante. Allow me to say a few sentences in English, and then I will continue in Croatian. Your Worship, Mrs. McCallion, I'm delighted to meet you and humbled by your presence here today. You were always on the winning side because you knew how to serve. Dear Reverend Fathers, I always feel to be a better person when surrounded with Reverend Fathers and nuns. My own father was an orphan brought up by a parish priest in Požeške Sesvete in the middle of Slavonia region in Croatia. As the ambassador of Croatia here today, I am proud to be Croat. Croatian community in Canada is diligent Croatian community in Canada is diligent and highly valued part of Canadian society. You were symbol of Croatian freedom when there was no freedom in our homeland. You Canadian Croats have immensely contributed to the independence of the Republic of Croatia and to the development of Canada's society. You are a real bridge between Croatia and Canada. I'm very happy to repeat the words of His Excellency, Right Honorable Governor General of Canada Johnston at the ceremony in April when I presented my credentials. Governor General said, the relations between Croatia and Canada are excellent. We are now allies. My dear Croats, you have played a crucial role in that. Today, this day when Reverend Father Ante Market is celebrating his first Mass after being ordained in the day, is the day of inclusiveness and togetherness. I am blessed to be here. Reverend Ante and I spent several hours together. With other fathers, we shared an evening meal. There was a permanent smile on his face. He was radiating goodness and peace, spreading them throughout the entire dining hall. I desire to be like him, but unfortunately it was not given to me.
In addition, Consul General Lubinko Matešić, another official representing Republic of Croatia, delivered a few remarks during the Mass.
I would just like to say that I think I speak on behalf of the whole Croatian community in Canada, and on behalf of the Croatian people in general when we say that we are proud of Father Ante, that we wish him the best in his duties that he will perform as a priest, and that most of all we wish that God's blessing be upon him.
Also, almost all Croatian priests and nuns from southern Ontario plus a significant number of non-Croatian Catholic clergy attended the Mass. Even the former Canadian boxing champion George Chuvalo, also of Croatian origin, was seen in the park. Mladen Hrvat, the current priest in the Croatian Parish of Toronto, who used to be Father Market's professor at Faculty of Theology in Zagreb some years ago, pointed out a few touching details about Ante's decision to leave Croatia and continue his priestly studies in Canada. However, fate brought them back together. Father Hrvat came to Toronto to serve the same Croatian parish which nurtured Father Markets in his Catholic faith. Now, both priests, Mladen and Ante, are servants of God. Although they are serving pastoral duties in two different parishes, Father Hrvat in Croatian Parish of Toronto and Father Markets in Peterborough, they are very good friends, truly devoted to their Catholic faith, and loved by the faithful.
Nemoj im propovjedati sebe bez Isusa, kao što je Filip išao propovjedati Krista, tako i ti, Ante, idi propovjedati Krista ovome narodu koji žeđa za Kristom.
Thanks for watching. God bless.